So we all know that restaurants have had a tough time navigating all the COVID restrictions and a lot of people just not feeling as comfortable going out. Many turn to outdoor dining, but with the weather getting colder, how much of an option is that? Our partners at Buffalo Business First had an article today titled "Restaurant Owners Are Looking to These Lessons Learned from the First COVID Winter." And joining us now is Tracy Drury, reporter for Buffalo Business First and author of that story. She's always up to date with what's happening with the restaurant industry. Tracy, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So expanded outdoor dining has really been a lifeline for a whole lot of restaurants to make it through all of the challenges of the pandemic. And I guess it's been so successful that even though we're coming up on winter and the weather's getting worse, a lot of restaurants want to keep trying to do this.
That's right. It's pretty rare now to see a new restaurant opening up that doesn't include some kind of outside dining. And so as the weather starts to turn, like last year, they want to keep that open as much as possible, whether that's through propane heating or tents, or I'm really wondering if they're going to bring back the campaign from last year, the BYOB, for the Bring Your Own Blanket. People just really like eating outside.
Of course, not every restaurant is able to do that. And so, they're going to have to rely more and more on takeout and delivery, especially for those, that can't do the outdoor dining. How is that going to work logistically, and what kind of challenge is that for restaurants?
Well, it's interesting. There are a lot of restaurants that really are looking more toward the indoor dining. There are fewer restrictions, but everyone who started takeout and delivery last year are certainly continuing that as well. Some of them are using the third-party delivery systems. Some of them actually still employ their own. And then some are continuing or expanding the pickup, where they'll have you receive a text and run it right out to you right outside the restaurant. So that has become, I think, a mainstay, something that we're going to continue to see moving forward beyond the pandemic and certainly into the winter.
It was interesting to see some restaurants that got pretty creative with the private dining options, like the igloos that we saw on top of Tapo downtown and on Chandler Street last year. I wonder if you look in your crystal ball, do you think that places are going to continue to kind of come up with those new and creative ways to just deal with the challenges that remain?
Absolutely. I think it's all about creativity, and restaurant owners know they can't just rely on what they did 5 years ago, or even maybe not even last year. Now, the igloos, they're not cheap. They're not an inexpensive option for restaurants to add on. However, we've seen them at Tapo, we see them in East Aurora, at Rick's on Main, excuse me, as well as some greenhouse structures that are going up in different places. So people really are looking at whatever they can find to make these kinds of dining experiences available to their customers.
And we were just showing some video as you were talking there of those greenhouses. I've been in them at Tapo. They're very cool. Let me just end with a question, kind of big picture for you. We mentioned keeping the outdoor dining going, doing the pickup and delivery, but also just fewer restrictions on restaurants. Do you get a sense that the industry is in a pretty decent place, all things considered right now? When I've gone out recently, it does seem like it's been, pretty busy. It's just been such a challenging couple of years.
I agree. I've been out recently as well, and places seem like the tables are filled. But you look at the Restaurant Association survey that just came out a few weeks ago, where I think it was 85% of respondents said they think they're going to struggle. Not everybody is ready to come back for indoor dining yet. So I think it's really going to vary restaurant to restaurant, and the ability for them to make their customers feel safe. Again, there aren't as many restrictions, hardly any, that there were from last year. So they really just want to make people feel safe and welcome, and hopefully they'll come back.
And sometimes you see empty tables despite people wanting to be there because we still have the worker shortage. That's a whole another topic and another challenge. Tracy Drury covers restaurants among many other topics for Buffalo Business First. And you can read more about that story that we mentioned right now at bizjournals.com/Buffalo. Tracy, it's always good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
And before we wrap up the town hall today, we have a quick preview of a story you'll see on NBC Nightly News at 6:30. Tom Costello getting an exclusive look inside a factory of the cars of the future. Watch.
Good afternoon. We're in Detroit at General Motors Factory Zero. It is all new here. It is all about electric vehicles. This is the brand new electric version of the Hummer pickup truck. The numbers are amazing. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, 350-mile range on this all-electric vehicle, as General Motors is pledging to go all electric by 2035. Coming up on NBC Nightly News, an exclusive interview with the CEO of GM about why she thinks the time is now to go green in a very big way. President Biden coming here tomorrow. Coming up, when and why would you be buying an electric vehicle and putting one in your driveway? On NBC Nightly News. Back to you.
And we look forward to that, Tom. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll leave you with our text line number. That's the easiest way to reach us.